Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is part 94 of Miss Chastity's story. She married a man that didn't exist, according to her. If you are seeing this for the first time, the link to the playlist will be in the description so you can start from part 1. Let's continue for those that are up to date.
Part 94 of How I Married a Man That Didn't Exist. The amount paid out for a $5,000 bond is $500. There were only two people who would have done this. AutoZone Amber or Emily. I, of course, called the bail bondsman, who, of course, couldn't give me any information, but you can't blame a girl for trying, honestly. First court appearance was set to the end of May. I found this out on April 29th. On May 19th, 20 days since our last interaction, I texted Rob. Mind you, the information was information. He didn't know I knew this. Emily didn't know I knew this. I said, hello, any updates on payment for divorce? Rob, I just had to pay $3,000 because something came up. I said, he said, I will give you the money as soon as I can. I said, yes, I know you got arrested. Do you think you're going back to prison? Rob, no, I don't think so. Probably probation. My fault. I should have thought about it. Thinking is the last thing you ever do. I have faith that God will take care of it. Oh, baby. He will take care of it, just not in the way you're hoping. In May, I only had communication with Emily 3 times. The entire month of May, there were 3 text messages. May 7th, via the court docket, I saw that Rob hired a private lawyer. May 28th, Rob and Amber changed their relationship status on the FB to married on this day. And
You knew I wanted to even say it. I just didn't. That the reason why Rob himself was fighting for this divorce to finalize because he has plans. And I'm sure maybe Amber also has money somewhere that he has seen that he wants to, lay his hold on. That's why he was trying to fast track with the wedding any which way possible. Because come on, that man, it's not like he was so much in love with Miss Amber. That's why he was so quick to, marry her. Let's be for real.
And they said that as of January 2025, remember the post, can someone marry my BF and I this Sunday? They are now married on the FB. And they apparently did this in January. Clock this day and put it in your back pocket. January 2025. We're going to need that for later. At some point around this time, I had seen a post that Rob tagged Emily in on the FB. How I saw it, I don't know, because he was blocked. I don't remember. I'll post this picture here. He put a laughing face on it, and Emily put a heart emoji on it. A subliminal confession. A confession to protecting a monster, a murder of all things soft. An acknowledgement of being an accomplice. My jaw hit the floor. Again. We all know. We all knew. If you have been following along with this story, we all know that she was an accomplice. She was a con artist. She was a fraud. She was in on it. But for it to be so blatantly posted for the world to see and acknowledged and laughed at like it was a fucking joke, we all know what that picture means. If you know who those two people are, you know exactly what the fuck that means. Moms feel like my son didn't do shit. He tagged her in that because it's true. He tagged her in that because she knows it's true. Protect at all costs. Everyone else's costs except their own.
Of course, that's what everybody has got to understand. There are some mothers that will go to any length to protect their child. They don't care what that child is doing. So long as it's their child, they will do anything. They don't care who gets hurt in that process. That's one thing you need to understand. And it took Miss Chastity a long while for her to clock this. Like I've been saying, we in Africa we understand this very well. Nobody, we know how mothers can be, or how protective mothers can be about their child. So you will not expect a mother to pick you over their child, unless the good women that, of course, we have good mothers that will do that. But generally, come on.
Taking pieces of other people to pay your debt. Ruining lives to keep a con going. Playing family when we were anything but. The only real thing in that house was me and the girls. The only real feelings, the only real emotions was what I felt for them and what they felt for me. Imagine supporting your son as an abuser to the point where this post can be made and both of you think it's fucking funny. That's wild moose behavior. May 29th, the court date. I waited all day for these motherfucking court dockets to be uploaded. This is the series of things for this court date. Present without an attorney. Where's his attorney? Didn't he just hire an attorney? Plead not guilty. You idiot, they have you on camera. Appointed a public defender. Where's your $6,000? Motion to compel fingerprints. Much like the ones they found on the gun and the pawn slip. Demand for discovery, evidence and witnesses, to which they have already the 911 call log, the arrest affidavit, the incident reports, the lab report / firearms. They pulled it into evidence. They did labs on that. The pawn transaction form, the property receipt, the score sheet, the video file, and the warrant. You pleaded not guilty, you had a lawyer, and then you didn't have a lawyer, and now you got a public defender. They placed you at the scene of the crime, my guy. They have you on CCTV with the weapon in your hand, walking to pawn it. On this episode of Dumb Criminals, as if he's never been in the system before, as if he doesn't know that they're gonna fucking check. He was a pawn criminal. Many other types, many other things. But he would steal, he would burglarize, and he would take these things and he would take them to pawn shops. That is how he got his ass caught up. So you're telling me you're taking what is very probably a stolen firearm to a pawn shop. You're putting your John Hancock on that bitch with your thumbprint. You walking out with $200 max. And you think life is peaches and cream? You are a dumb son of a bitch. You know what? I talked about AutoZone Amber not firing on all cylinders, but baby, they had one brain cell between the two of them and it didn't work. When I tell you I sat and I got myself a good chuckle, and I'm talking like that deep, you feel it coming out of your soul type laugh, I didn't need to hold him accountable. He was putting the nail in his own coffin. I didn't even have to hold the hammer. He was telling on himself. He was putting himself in a position to be on the receiving end of karma. And I didn't have to lift a finger. I didn't have to do anything but wait. Because I'll tell you one thing, besties. Rotten fruit will always fall on its own. Wait for the next part. We're not done yet.
Okay. Well, guys, I'm not even surprised this is happening because come on, we are living in a world where, whatever you do will catch up with you. Though it might take a while. All what he has been doing, there will come a time where it will catch up with him. I know that, of course, he might be released and he continues to circle again until he can't get himself out of it anymore. My heart is just, going out for those children because they did not ask to be birthed, to be born into this whole mess. And I pray, they get saved from this. See you guys in the next part.